The deadliest man-eaters to ever exist.
Let's start with the most horrifying man-eaters on the list and slowly work our way towards the stuff of nightmares. Number 8. The Spotted Devil of Gumalapur. The Spotted Devil was the nickname.
Y'all didn't see it, my camera.
Number 8. The Spotted Devil of Gumalapur. The Spotted Devil was the nickname given to one of the most feared leopards to have ever lived. In the 1940s, in the state of Tamil Nadu, India, the leopard would claim 250 miles of jungle as its personal hunting grounds. But the reason this leopard was so feared,
why does he have a dent in his head, bro?
Was for its proficiency in hunting humans. Now, if this isn't terrifying enough, leopards are nocturnal hunters, so any attack that would be carried out would be in the darkness of night, where you would never see it coming.
That's like if you're not on your A game. See, I'm taught to keep my head on a swivel, so I could hear if a leopard running up on me, which is why I've always survived in the wild. Camping is one of the funnest activities to me because I know nothing out there can really f with me.
And 42 people across multiple villages would meet this horrifying fate. The Spotted Devil became so feared that after a while, people in the villages began to barricade their doors after sunset and refused to step foot outside, including to use the restroom, causing a health crisis in many villages. And
they were pooing in the home. They were so scared, they had piles of poo.
In its frustration, the leopard would begin to enter homes through windows, roofs, or by any means necessary, snatching people in the dead of night and dragging them into the forest to be devoured. It wouldn't be until the famous hunter Kenneth Anderson was called for help that the leopard would finally be challenged. Anderson was a notorious hunter that specialized in hunting big game animals, especially those that hunted humans. It would take him 3 nights to finally come face to face with the cat, where he would be woken up in the middle of the night by a stray dog that he befriended that night, when it began to violently shake with uncontrollable fear. And when Anderson looked up at the roof, he would catch a glimpse of the devil before losing it in the darkness. He then began to actively search for the cat, and after a few minutes had gone by,
see me, I would have jumped at the cat. If I would have saw it on the roof, my first instinct is getting down in a squatting position, propelling myself towards the cat, and I'm soaring at it like this. I'm telling you, I'm soaring at it like this. Maybe it'll probably take like 3 punches to knock it out.
He would be alerted by a bark from the stray dog, causing Anderson to quickly turn around and seeing the leopard charging straight at him. And in that instant, he managed to let off 3 shots from his .405 caliber Winchester.
So he didn't kill the leopard, the dog did. If it wasn't for the dog, he'd be dead. He's mid. I'm just saying, bro. Give the dog more credit.
Killing the cat in its tracks. After examining the body, Anderson would discover porcupine quills lodged between the toes of the leopard's foot, an injury that prevented it from hunting its natural prey, resulting the animal to turn to human flesh. As for the stray dog that Anderson befriended during that hunt, he would actually go on to adopt him. Number 7.
He should. He saved his life.
Tigers of Chowgur. This was a pair of Bengal tigers consisting of an old tigress and her young adult cub, which over the course of 5 years managed to accumulate 64 confirmed kills. This all took place in the Kumail division in India from 1925 through 1930. The pair of tigers would turn a 1,500 square mile mountain region into their own personal hunting grounds. This terrain would include multiple villages.
Now, when it comes to wrestling tigers, I can't say that I've been too successful. Like I've lost my middle toe and I've lost my big toe fighting tigers, so I don't really mess with them because if I lose any more toes, I'm gonna be pissed.
Which they actively hunted. They would alternate attacks from village to village, as this tactic allowed them to catch the villagers off guard. And after 3 years of pure hell, the locals began to reach out and seek the help of Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett was an Indian-born British hunter who specialized in hunting man-eating tigers and leopards. But to catch this pair of tigers, it would take Corbett 3 separate hunting trips that spanned over a period of 2 years. Eventually, on his 3rd trip on the 19th day, he would finally come face to face with a pair of tigers. He headed to
I would have got some lettuce, tomatoes, and a little bit of like, I probably would have used like a kid for bait. You know, you need live bait to make them interested. I would have definitely did tomatoes, onions, live kid, and I would have just camped for like 2 days. I would have got the tiger out of there.
Small village of Kala Agar, which was the last place the tigers were known to be. There, he began to hang buffalo meat as bait in the hopes that it would lure out the cats.
See, he chose to hang meat, but he hung dead meat. They want to fight for what's theirs. They want live bait. You should have hung a live child.
While on post, Corbett would be alerted by a companion that they had heard the lions nearby. And before he knew it, he would turn a corner and catch himself standing right in front of the tigress at a distance of 8 feet. She was sitting next to a large boulder when Corbett would take the shot, killing her and putting an end to the attacks. He would then kill the young adult cub shortly after. Upon further investigation, he would discover that the tiger's claws and canine teeth were broken and her front teeth completely worn down, causing her to turn to humans as her primary source of food.
Yo, they don't even want to attack humans. They have no choice. Man.
Number 6, Osama the crocodile.
Who? Oh, I know he got bodies.
This was a terrifying crocodile that lived on Lake Victoria in Africa from the years 1991 through 2005. It is believed that this one crocodile has eaten over 83 people. It's very difficult to confirm these numbers since the crocodile would oftentimes attack people that were fishing alone, and of course would consume them whole. There have been multiple instances where pieces of clothing would wash ashore from someone who had recently went missing. But sadly, ripped pieces of clothing were not the only thing to wash ashore. Sometimes an arm or a leg would too.
Hold up.
Only thing to wash ashore. Sometimes an arm or a leg.
Why are they smiling at the leg with a sneaker? Wait.
Pieces of clothing were not the only thing to wash ashore. Sometimes an arm or a leg.
Did they take the shoe off? They took the shoe off the foot. They took a shoe
leg would too. The locals have even reported seeing children dragged from shore after attempting to fill their buckets. But the horrifying nightmare doesn't stop there. The crocodile would even develop the skill of capsizing boats by slamming the boat from underneath, sending the fishermen flying into the water.
That's why you're supposed to always keep pepper on you when you're fishing, when you're just out in the wild, so you can throw the pepper at their nose so they sneeze, and when they sneeze you can punch them in the nostril and then they get all confused, right? After they get confused, you have to punch them one more time in the eye so they can't see you, and by then they're too intimidated, they don't want to fight you no more, they run away.
Becoming easy lunch. This crocodile was such a menace that he would oftentimes just launch himself vertically out of the water and belly flopping directly onto people's boats, clamping onto fishermen's legs and dragging them into the water.
Like, you see how he has his arms up yelling? He did not get the pepper ready at all. Pepper can save your life. Remember that, bro. Remember.
And out of all the people this crocodile attacked, only 15 of them would survive to tell the tale.
Because they all had pepper.
But thankfully, in 2005, the crocodile would finally be caught, where he was then killed and made into luxury handbags. Number 5, the man-eating, where he was then killed and made into...
Yo, do y'all think he got sold for more? Did the crocodile get a bite of him? Y'all think he was sold for more because he had bodies? So that's how you know it was like real luxury alligator? Real luxury crocodile? Osama bin Vuitton. Osama Louis Vuitton. Osama bin Gucci. I think I like the sound of that. Osama Doje Cabana. Oh! Osama Doje Cabana. Now that's the one. That's the
to
one.
luxury handbags. Number 5, the man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag. The first attack came in 1918 in Benji village in the Rudraprayag district of India. This would mark the start of a bloody and gruesome killing spree that would last 8 long years, leaving 125 people dead.
Wait,
During
what was
this
the
time
animal? I
period,
was
very
not
few
paying attention.
people would even dare to step outside of their homes after sunset, fearing that the leopard would be waiting for them
Another
outside,
leopard?
as he often would.
If you don't tell that nigga swiper no swiping, bruh, they over here snatching your kid. Did he poo himself?
Since he preferred the taste of human flesh over anything else. And when people stopped
How do you
going
know that?
outside,
Give him, like,
the
an
leopard
interview?
began to adapt. He would begin to break down doors, leap through
Again?
windows, and even come in from the roof, which were made from plants.
That's what it is. Okay, I was wondering how these people were getting snatched up out of their own homes.
And once inside, he would grab the person and drag them out to the dark forest
Jesus.
where he would devour them. After hundreds of people met this fate, units of Gurkha and British soldiers were sent in to track
What is this doing with a kid-sized rocket launcher?
the animal down,
What?
but failed
Yo,
miserably.
is he
And
gonna?
British
You think he gonna kill the leopard by eating his butt? Like putting tongue in the booty won't do nothing to him, bro. It might distract him.
soldiers were sent in to track the animal down, but failed miserably. The British government even offered a handsome reward to anyone who could manage to kill the cat.
His
And many
teeth,
well-known
bro.
and famous hunters stepped up for the task and failed as well. But on the 2nd of May 1926, the legendary hunter Jim Corbett would personally take this task on for himself.
gonna be Jim
This would
Crow.
lead him on a 10-week hunt through the jungle, where he would track the cat down and shooting it dead.
He said
A
what?
10-week hunt through the jungle, where he would
week.
track the cat down and shooting it dead, completing a
Where did the elf in the shoe come from? Who was this hitting licks on? That's a long foot. Is that Kevin Durant's?
task that many thought was impossible. And after examining the body, Corbett would discover that there was nothing inherently wrong with the cat. Well, nothing that would prevent it from hunting its regular prey, since it did have some bullet wounds from hunters who had recently missed its vital organs. But other than that, it was fine. Corbett came to the conclusion that the cat had
wanted
developed
bodies.
a taste for human flesh
just
when it
wanted
was still
bodies.
very young. You see, a cholera outbreak occurred years prior, and many people who died from the disease would be taken to grave sites where they were left unburied. And to a young cat, this would have been easy food. But when the disease inevitably slowed down, the bodies did too, causing the cat's food supply to dwindle down. So naturally, the cat began to hunt and consume the food that it had always eaten.
What is this person injected with? Why do they have a teardrop on them? There is so much to dissect.
Number 4, the man-eating lions
Jim
of
Crow, the
Savo.
goat.
If there was any man-eating animal on the list that you might have heard of, this would probably be the one. The Savo man-eaters were a pair of male lions in the Savo region of Kenya. These lions would target construction workers who were working on the Uganda and Kenya railway between March and December of 1898. The pair of lions would stalk the campsites and strike in the dead of night by grabbing workers from their tents and dragging them.
Like this gotta be disrespectful to the lion, bro. He's not just disrespecting these animals, bro. Every people is being disrespected up here, bro.
Out to devour them. It's said that anywhere from 28 to 138 people met this fate.
Man, they're not better stalkers than Sniper Wolf, though.
Around 30 Indian workers and an unknown amount of native African workers. For some reason, no one kept records of the African workers that went missing. That's why there's such an enormous
course.
disparity in the fatality count. And when the attacks first began,
course.
only one of the lions would enter the camp at night, taking one victim to be split among the pair. But as time went on, the pair of lions would become a lot more bold, with both of them going into camps and each of them claiming a victim for themselves. These attacks would be carried out on an almost daily basis, with all the workers personally knowing someone who had went missing. It wouldn't be until hundreds of workers abandoned the job site, which caused the entire project to come to a complete stop, that the officials were finally forced to find a solution, sending in around 20 Indian soldiers to hunt the pair of lions down, where they would go on to completely fail. But on December 9th, 1898, Colonel John Henry Patterson would catch one of these lions approaching camp.
No.
He would go on to tag it with a high-caliber rifle on the back leg and scaring it off, just for it to return back the same night, where Patterson would tag it once more, piercing its heart. The second lion, on the other hand, was an absolute tank. He managed to survive getting shot 9 times with 3 different guns across an 11-day period.
Oh my god! So why did you make the one that looks like a tank built like this, bro? You're not enhancing your statement. You say he's built like a tank. Why does he look like slob? This is like something Plankton would serve at the chum bucket.
And it wouldn't be until Colonel Patterson yet again placed the final shot on its head that the lion would finally be stopped. Today, these lions are proudly displayed at the Field Museum in Chicago.
That nigga was 50 Cent. He's the 50 Cent of lions.
Number 3, Gustav. Gustav is a large Nile crocodile from Burundi, Africa. He is rumored to have killed anywhere from 200 to 300 people on the banks of the Rusizi River and in the connecting lake of Tanganyika. All the locals in Burundi, the banks of the Rusizi River and in the connecting lake of Tanganyika.
Yeah.
All the locals in Burundi claim to know someone that has been taken by Gustav, or someone who has simply vanished without a trace. A few locals have even been attacked by him and were lucky enough to live to tell the tale, their bodies left covered in scars from the encounter. But here's the terrifying part. Not only is Gustav a man-eater who takes every opportunity he can to devour humans, he is also not a typical size for a Nile crocodile. In fact, he is much, much bigger, being the largest Nile crocodile to have ever...
That's not a crocodile, buddy, that's a dinosaur.
Been recorded. Here's an image of your average size Nile crocodiles.
Okay.
And here is Gustav.
That is a
Scientists
dinosaur,
have speculated that his unusually large size prevents him from hunting his regular prey, so he had to resort to other means. Gustav is easily identified by the scars across his body, the scars that were left after being shot multiple times with an AK-47. After multiple attempts on his life, the locals are now convinced that his hide is so thick that it actually makes him bulletproof.
Listen, I remember I had a run-in on a boy, and he looked like Gustav, but his name was Mustav, right? All you have to do is just grab him by the neck, roll him over on the back. He can't move. Once he's flipped over, he can't move. You see the tiny legs, and you just have to choke him. It takes about 15-20 minutes. I pulled this off back in 06. Right, I was fresh out of high school. 06, I had this encounter back in 06. This is when this happened, bro. You just have to roll him on his back, choke him out. You'll be straight.
To this day, there have been multiple attempts to capture him, but have all ended in failure. And as far as we know, he still roams the river to this day.
Oh, so he's the real 50 Cent.
The Pinar Man.
The other were imposters. He's the real him.
The Pinar Man-Eater was a male leopard who was responsible for over 400 fatal attacks, which were all carried out in the darkness of night. This leopard single-handedly terrorized the villagers in the Pinar region in Almora district of India during the early 20th century. Years would go by with the leopard having his way and picking villagers off with ease. The locals, gripped with fear, refused to even step outside of their homes after sunset. The leopard would eventually adapt to this and began to snatch the villagers from inside of their homes, dragging them into the jungle to devour them. The leopard was so efficient in hunting humans that the government eventually had to step in and offer some assistance, the best way that they knew how. They called upon Jim Corbett, the legendary hunter who had a reputation for killing man-eaters, as we already covered some of his stories on this list.
Wait, both of those were Jim Crow? Yo, Jim Crow was catching bodies. I see why he went to America and made those laws.
But to kill this elusive animal, it would take Corbett multiple hunting trips before he would ever even get a glimpse of the cat. Corbett would travel for days on foot through the dense Indian forest to reach an area where the leopard was known to hunt. And on his journey, he would even contract malaria. And that was still not enough to stop him.
So he was
Once
really
he
a main
finally
character.
reached the village where the leopard was last seen, he would set up a base on top of a tree, but not before tying up a small goat 30 yards away to hopefully lure out the cat. Hours would go by while he waited at his post, and as it began to get dark, the birds would be the first to...
You know, that sounds boring, but when you realize they had nothing else to do, like, what is he gonna go do? Go home and love on his wife? It's the 30s. He not loving on women. I'm not gonna tell y'all what they gonna do, how they're harming women, but they're harming them like there is nothing else for this man to do.
Give him a sign, as they would begin to act out in complete fear. And soon after, he began to hear something brushing against the
I would have got bored. I probably, in this amount of time, I probably would have invented the Nintendo, and I would have been like halfway done with making the first Super Mario game.
Bushes right next to him, and all he could do was sit and wait. And this would go on for a few minutes.
What if it was a child?
But eventually, whatever was in the bushes slowly worked its way towards the small goat
be a child.
and killing it. And in the complete darkness, Corbett was forced to guess where the monster could be, taking a shot towards the direction of the goat, followed by an angry grunt. And for a second, the scenery lit up from the shot, seeing the cat falling backwards and hearing it run back into the forest.
You had the goat set up as bait? They got the bait and you still didn't get them? That's like a fisherman losing their fish after having the bait wrapped on the hook. You're garbage! But every main character has to go through trials and tribulations or you're not a main character. If you just get it all too easy, you're not really the main character, so I understand.
The villagers were persistent and convinced Corbett to track the animal down that night instead of waiting for the morning like he wanted. He told them that the only way he would do it is if they promised to hold their ground if they came across the beast, as they would be the only source of light that he would have. They agreed and promised. They would then begin to track the blood trail left from the cat, following the trail through the jungle, when out of the darkness the cat would emerge, charging straight at them. With the local villagers running for their lives, and in their panic they began to trip over one another, dropping the torches to the jungle floor. And in the chaos, Corbett would take multiple shots at the leopard, and killing it.
And he still did it. Yo, does Jim have a biography, bro? An autobiography, something? Because this is crazy.
He would go on to write in his book that if the locals had not fallen down and tripped over each other, he would have been left standing there in the complete darkness, and the cat might have been the one walking away instead of him.
I would have immediately fired off on the locals. Immediately. Because they were about to leave him. They said they were staying their ground and they didn't. Bro, I'm suing. That's an easy lawsuit.
Number 1, the Devil of India. This is the single deadliest animal to have ever lived and would make one hunter an absolute legend. The Devil of India.
Jim's already a legend, so whoever you say, they're nothing compared to Jim. Jim caught 3 big bodies.
Was a Bengal tigress responsible for an estimated 436
Didn't the last thing, wasn't it responsible for 400 or was that Gustav? I can't remember.
deaths, which she acquired in Nepal.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, they mean it. Whether you are at the beach or in the mountains, Shopify is the all-in-one commerce platform that simplifies selling to anyone from anywhere. Don't let the technical stuff slow you down because with Shopify, you can monitor inventory, track sales, fulfill and ship orders from anywhere with an internet connection. Join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide and start selling with Shopify today. Sign up for a $1 trial at shopify.com/free23. Shopify.com/free23.
And the Kumal division in India from the late 19th and early 20th century. The tigress was even entered into the Guinness Book of World Records for holding the largest number of fatalities by a single animal. The killings first began in western Nepal, where the villagers were tormented and eaten for 3 long years. Hunters would eventually be sent in to track the animal down, but she would prove to be too elusive. Eventually, the Nepalese army was called in, and they would succeed in scaring her away, forcing her across the border and into India, where she would continue to hunt for humans in the Kumal district, rotating her kills between multiple villages, picking anyone off who would venture into the woods. And since all the kills were done in broad daylight, this would leave the villagers completely paralyzed with fear, preventing them from working and leaving their homes. This nightmare would last for a dreadfully long 4 years, but eventually a handsome reward would be offered to any man who could manage to kill the beast. Many well-known and famous hunters would attempt this task, but would all return home with a taste of
I
defeat.
swear if it's Jim
But in
again.
1907, a young
No, this was before Jim. This was before Jim's time, I
young
think.
and unknown 31-year-old hunter would take this challenge on for himself. And surprisingly, he would refuse the money, as he accepted the task simply to help. He would begin this hunt
What a
with a
nice
4-day trip
guy.
on foot through the dense jungle before reaching the town where the animal was last seen.
must have,
On
like, a
arrival, he would be
beautiful name.
shocked to discover a ghost town, since everyone was locked inside of their homes, with the locals claiming that the animal had been roaring in the nearby jungle for the last few days. The young hunter would then proceed to the site where the last victim was taken, discovering nothing but a few of the victim's bones. While investigating, word of a new attack reached the village. It was from the neighboring town. The hunter quickly set out on foot once again, but by the time he reached the town, he would discover that a newer attack had just taken place. He would reach the new attack site and began to follow the trail of blood, seeing nothing but a small glimpse of the tigress on the horizon. But he was forced to abandon the pursuit, since
too
nightfall
dark.
was but moments away.
too
The following
dark.
morning, the hunter came up with a plan. He instructed the villagers to make loud noises by screaming and banging pots. As he began to walk through the dense jungle and working his way to the grasslands at the edge of the forest, the villagers would begin to make noise too soon. The hunter was left with no choice but to run as fast as he could through the dense jungle, slipping and falling on rocks and roots, trying his best to get to the edge of the forest before the beast. Once he finally arrived and out of breath, he feared that he might have missed her. He waited for a moment, catching his breath, and she appeared, walking out of the forest like he predicted. He would ready his rifle
genius.
and take the shot, wounding the animal on the back leg. As the giant cat began to climb over a rock, the hunter took his second shot and missed. With the cat over the rock and out of sight, the only option left was to track her down. Once he climbed over the rock to see where the animal had gone, she would instantly appear standing on top of another rock, where she would begin to charge him head on. And in that instant, the hunter would let off his third shot, sending the animal from a complete charge to collapsing onto the floor.
Gustav would have gave him a heartache. That's why Gustav is the GOAT, bro. Gustav would have gave him a heartache. 1-2 bullets, bro. Gustav would never. Gustav,
Laying on the grass,
Jim would have
she
needed
would
one
take
bullet.
her
Jim probably could have knifed him up. Keep it a
last
buck.
and final breath. Upon inspecting the body, the hunter found that the tigress' top and bottom jaw were completely broken. A hunter long ago, before she was ever a man-eater, attempted to kill her for sport, permanently injuring her, preventing the animal from hunting and eating her natural prey.
So y'all caused her this. Why are half of these animals like antagonists, but they're antagonists for the right reason? Like, they're proper antagonists. This is crazy.
Resulting in her having to resort to eating humans as a means of survival. But after 7 long years and devouring over 430 people, the nightmare would now come to an end. The people from countless villages would finally have
What's his
true
name?
peace and their normal lives return to them.
Thank you, Mrs.
And
Live,
for
for
the
this
young
stuff.
hunter who killed the beast, he would go down in
I swear if his name is Jim.
history as one of the most prolific hunters to have ever lived. He would be remembered for generations and would even have the first national park in India named in his honor. This 31-year-old unknown hunter was no one other than Jim Corbett.
It's that nigga Jim! It's Jim! Oh my god, bro. I thought it was before his time. I really did. I thought it was before his time. Because when he said 19th century, I was thinking early 1800s. I wasn't thinking late 1800s. Oh my goodness, he really unstoppable. This was like one of his first incidents. That's why he didn't kill him in one shot. Remember that. They say he was young, and this is what put his name out there. That's why he didn't kill him in one shot. That is crazy, bro. Yo, that Jim is a dog. Jim is a dog, bro. Which race has the best stats?
If every race was in a video game, what
Yeah.
would their stats be? Let's start out
with the blacks.
HP, low. Turns out not having great access to healthcare means you don't live as long. But
Oh. Well, damn. We just straight into it like, okay, wow. The who? Okay. Okay, oh wow, I was not prepared for that one. Okay. Whew. Hey, I'm live on Twitch every single Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Link is in the description. I better see you there.
Buffs, Johnson size, debuffs, credit score, and fat white women. Strength, I'm gonna say pretty high.
You know what? I'd like to let you know I have an awfully decently high credit score, buddy. Okay? Don't try to do me like that. I don't know about these other Negroes, but me personally.
Johnson size, debuffs, credit score.
And I have a very average penis, too.
Turns out not having great access to healthcare means you don't live as long. Buffs, Johnson size, debuffs, credit score, and fat white women. Strength, I'm gonna say pretty high. Speed, high, but not high enough to escape their masters, apparently. Resistance, awkwardness. Black people are just born with a certain level of swag and have maxed out their support levels. IQ, low. And don't.
It's been 22 seconds, and I'm just getting torn to pieces right now. It's been 22 seconds. It just absolutely ripped to shreds.
Black people are just born with a certain level of swag and have maxed out their support levels. IQ, low. And don't blame me, you're the one skipping school. Sure, you come from a single-parent household with a father in prison and teachers who don't want to put in the effort.
Did you
Skipping
just put
school.
21
Sure, you come from a single-parent household with a father.
What was the 21 Savage just for? Hey, I'm pretty sure 21 is active in this kid's lives too. What did J. Cole say he'd be in the studio? How many faking their streams? Getting they plays from machines. I can see behind the smoke and mirrors niggas ain't really big as they seem.
Teachers who don't want to put in the effort, but not getting good grades is still your fault. Oh, well, I'm smart. Okay, here's a math problem. You have $250. The stock market goes up an average of 7.5% a year. How much money do you have at the end of the year? The answer is nothing, because you spent it on a new pair of Jordans. Endurance, incredible. I mean, they literally built America.
Sir? I have like 4 pairs of shoes, sir. 4!
I mean, they literally built America. Luck? Terrible. To go from slavery to segregation to finally getting your own Band-Aid color is pretty unlucky. Stealth? Depends. In daytime, it's terrible, but nighttime, it's max. The only thing you'll see is floating Sauron eyes with an occasional puff from a Newport. Special ability, better at all sports. Have you seen the top 20 basketball players? It's black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, random outlier, black eye, black eye, black eye. Next up, Asians. HP, massive. In the United States, they have the highest life expectancy. Probably because dying isn't nearly as bad as bringing your family shame. Debuffs? Sorry, Asians. God did you dirty in the Johnson department. Buffs? Luckily to balance it out, he made every Asian child size. Strength.
What? 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 Wait, huh? What is he talking about? What's that? Okay.
In the Johnson department. Luckily to balance it out, he made every Asian child size. Strength, in relation to body weight, high. Compared to any black person, low. Speed, average. Unless it's a hot dog eating contest. Then they're an expert in farming. Resistance, proud parents. IQ, Asians are close to maxing out their...
Wait, resistance, proud parents? Wait, what does that...
test.
What does that mean?
Resistance, proud parents.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind.
IQ, Asians are close to maxing out their IQ. I guess having your teacher beat you with a rod, then having your parents beat you with the same rod is a good way to increase work ethic.
Okay.
Happiness might exist if they have Christmas. You know why Asian kids don't believe in Santa? Because they're the ones making the toys. Endurance? Very high. Working in a sweatshop is hard, and I should know because I've walked a mile in their shoes. Luck, average, which isn't surprising considering most of them are bots. Special ability, invisibility. I don't even know.
Most of them are what?
Luck, average, which isn't surprising considering most of them are bots.
What does that mean? I don't get that one. I'm lost.
Special ability, invisibility. I don't even know why ninjas wear masks when you can just back up 10 feet into a crowd and completely disappear. Next up, whites. HP, above average. Buff.
Oh. 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 Okay. Okay. I just pieced that together. They all look the same. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Back up 10 feet into a crowd and completely disappear. Next up, whites. HP, above average. Buffs, jab applications. Debuffs, a girlfriend with no gag reflex. Strength, physically average. Strength in dominating other countries. Max. Speed, like kids on Adderall. High. Resistance, accountability.
Speed high? Based on what? I never heard that one before. Hold on, I'm sensing some fucking bias right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't never heard that one.
Countries, max. Speed, like kids on Adderall, high. Resistance, accountability. IQ, average, as we have the smartest and dumbest people out there. I can't even believe Einstein and Vin Diesel are the same species. Happiness, low. You think it'd be high considering we conquer the world, but with every technological advancement, we just invent new ways to get depressed. Like my magic phone keeps buffering Django Unchained. Ugh, now I know what being a slave feels like.
What the fuck is happening? What?
Endurance, average. Luck, max. Aside from being a man.
Endurance, average? What type of endurance? Y'all are long distance runners. Y'all don't run fast, but y'all run long distance, so wouldn't it be on the higher? I'm so lost on okay, I'm just lost.
Now I know what being a slave feels like. Endurance, average. Luck, max. Aside from being a man in a first world country, you can't get much luckier than being white. Special ability. Aside from being a man in a first world country, you can't get much luckier than being white. Special ability, winning. White people are like a DLC character that's just better than the rest of the cast. Don't believe me? Go to any museum and check out our KD ratio. Next up, Japanese. HP, well, they have one of the highest suicide rates, so very low. Buffs,
Jesus!
tentacle porn. Debuffs.
Did he say that was her special ability?
Suicide rates, so very low. Buffs, tentacle porn. Debuffs. Strength, pretty high, probably because they have a small hitbox. Speed, above average, unless it involves their Nezuko body pillow, then it's feverish. Resistance, big titties. IQ, very high. Japan is on the forefront of technology. Then it's feverish. Resistance, big titties. IQ, very high. Japan is on the forefront of technology. They got bullet trains, bidets in every hotel, and their sex bots don't judge you. This doesn't normally happen to me.
There. You tried your best. Would you like me to eat your butt now?
What?
Yeah. Happiness, pretty low, unless you get lucky and have 2 used panties dropped from the vending machine. Endurance, very high. 2 nuclear bombs prove they're good at tanking. Luck, horrible. If you're a girl, you've probably been groped on a train. And if you're a guy, you can't even grope someone without them complaining.
Okay. Okay, hold up. I need a nut break. I need a nut break. I'm being blown away right now. I need a nut break.
A girl, you've probably been groped on a train. And if you're a guy, you can't even grope someone without them complaining. Special ability, if you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's... Sorry, this one's really stupid. Okay. If you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's cooter, and it comes back solved, she's pregnant. Next up, Koreans. HP, well, their life expectancy is around 83, so very high. Buffs, Gundam style, and BBQ. Debuffs, driving. Strength, it's hard to tell because all the characters use the same skin. Speed, need for. Resistance, feeling loved. IQ, very high.
Wait,
Creeps,
what?
Gundam style, and BBQ. Debuffs, driving. Strength, it's hard to tell because all the characters use the same skin. Speed, need for. Resistance, feeling loved. IQ, very high. Koreans tend to excel at math, probably because their dog can never eat their homework. Happiness.
What?
I'm Jared Blakely from Blakely Law Firm, and I'm here to tell you about a concerning problem that is occurring all over South Florida. Car accident injury victims are being contacted right after their accident by criminals, illegally soliciting them.
Koreans have maxed out their sadness. In America, we're great at ending each other, but South Korea, they're great at ending themselves. Koreans have the highest self-slaughter rate, which might be because of their parents. Korean parents are born with disappointment in their children, which is a great motivator if you want your kid to become a CEO, so he can jump from a higher window.
It's not funny, bro. I just when I get sad and when I'm like very uncomfortable, I just tend to smile. Sometimes I make sounds like you know what I'm saying? That's a sadness and upset response. Yeah.
Endurance, very high. Every other week, their next door neighbor threatens them with nuclear warfare, and yet they still find a way to dance to shit music. Luck, low. This is considered sexy in South Korea. The dude looks like a big toe that wished he became a person, then decided to have a sex change.
What? Wow, that's not just sexy in North Korea. In Korea, though, you'll be surprised. Americans fiending over them. Introduce them to K-pop stands. Have you seen a K-pop stand, bro? Golly, man.
In South Korea. The dude looks like a big toe that wished he became a person, then decided to have a sex change. Special ability can lower their frame rate when dancing. Next up, Mexican. HP above average. Buffs, manual labor. Debuffs, paying taxes. Strength, high. Cockfighting taught them to go for the jugular. Speed, very high. Can complete any construction project in half the time of a white person. Resistance, birth control. IQ, low. If they were smart, they'd kidnap their racist farm owners, unionize, pool their money together, buy the farm they're originally working on, then hire another poor race to do the work. Happiness, pretty high, which is surprising considering they spend most of the game completing escort missions. Endurance, max. You ever seen a Mexican not hustling? You can call them drug dealers, criminals, bums, and they'd still be like, si senor, so the whole lawn and the hedges? Luck, terrible. You're so close to America, and yet so far.
God.
Special ability, border crossing. Next up, Indian. HP, well, they believe in reincarnation, so I guess that means they max out their HP. Once it goes to 0, the game just resets with a new character. Buffs, Krishna. Debuffs, reality. Strength,
Buffs what?
to 0, the game just resets with a new character. Buffs, Krishna. Debuffs, reality. Strength, it's gotta be high if they can drink their water and not instantly get diarrhea.
No, that's crazy. Wow.
Reality. Strength, it's gotta be high if they can drink their water and not instantly get diarrhea. Speed, slow. Too many people are playing Train Simulator, causing it to lag. Resistance, spicy foods. IQ, average. They recently landed a rocket on the moon, and yet half their population can't even spell rocket. Happiness, low. There's no such thing as your own room in India. Just a spot in the ground. Endurance.
I think that's very common in every country besides America. Like, I'm pretty sure people living together, like families living together, is common everywhere besides America. I think that we're the only ones who like to force our children out of our homes so fast. But you know, I'm gonna just.
Endurance? Well, if we're talking about keeping their wife in check, then it'd be max. Luck? Very low. India is one of the most densely populated places on the planet, and they only have like 7 toilets. Special ability can respawn with a different character. And lastly, Native Americans, who are in desperate need for a buff. Their HP is very low. They have the worst life expectancy out of all the races. Probably because a shaman shaking maracas doesn't help cure cancer. Buffs, peace pipes. Debuffs, spawn camping. Hey, what are you doing on my land? Strength? Low. You know what beats a bow and arrow? Any gun. Speed? Very low. Which would you rather? 1 horsepower or 640? Resistance? Fast travel. IQ? Low. If Pocahontas was smart, she would have blown her way to the top. Honeypot the enemy into revealing some of their war plans. But if Pocahontas was smart, she would have blown her way to the top. Honeypot the enemy into revealing some of their war plans. But instead, she was too busy getting her clam wet, as her people were the ones actually getting fucked. Happy. Happiness? Depends how good my trip is. Endurance? Very low. I'm pretty sure there's only like 14 left. Luck?
Oh my
low.
God.
That dream catcher isn't preventing nightmares. It's making you live one. And special ability?
Jesus.
Obviously, tax-free land. So after crunching the numbers, I can safely say the race with the best stats is the whites. Obviously, we always win. Sure, other stats may be better, but there's no patch notes for how broken we are. So that's my vid on which race has the best stats. Special thanks to @user- it looks like he threw his face on the keyboard for giving me this idea. As soon as I read it, I knew I had to do it. It's just so perfect for this channel. And just remember, if you can't get it up, it doesn't mean you're not a man.
Okay.
It just means you're buffering. Wait, I have some delicious updates. So many of you know I started this channel around 9 months ago, and after making 80 videos, I've spent about $25,000. Now, to me, it's 25 grand well spent, as I'm super happy with how these videos.
You just said I was low IQ. Do you think I give a fuck on the amount of money you spend on these videos? Huh? Do you think I care? Because truly I do not. Okay? I don't. Can I just get an O in chat? Just the letter O? Can I just get the letter? The Magic School Bus, Doppelganger. Area. Oh man. I don't remember nothing about the Magic School Bus either. That's the crazy part. Like this show is so far gone out my mind.
There's something about going back and rewatching old TV shows from your childhood that just fills you with this warm,
I need to
nostalgic
rewatch
feeling.
Max and
Even
Ruby,
though you're older now and your
SpongeBob,
tastes have changed,
Pokemon.
these shows can still connect with you in ways that nothing else can today.
Beyblade
That's
Bakugan.
at least how I feel when I rewatch The Magic School Bus.
I need to
A
rewatch
show
all those.
before everything became cynical and edgy. A show that just wanted to teach people how the world works. But then you find something in that show that you don't remember. Something dark.
Janet, you want proof? I'll give you proof. Here's proof of what'll happen to you if you stay here with your stuff.
Huh. That's
What?
weird. I don't remember Arnold dying in the show. And the more I rewatched, the more I realized how much I missed as a kid. And I knew I had to make my next theory about this. Inside the Magic School Bus is a culture of fear and lies. All
I mean,
to hide
duh.
a massive secret. Trust me, this theory is just as dark or complex as any of my SpongeBob theories. This is the Magic School Bus doppelganger theory.
Watch Miss Frizzle be like a fucking, just like Andrew Tate, allegedly, human trafficker. Miss Frizzle trafficking children. It's not funny, guys. Don't laugh at that. Going undercover to recruit gamers to play Raid Shadow.
It's a pretty fun game, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. You know what's a better game? Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh god, it's an advertisement.
No. I'm just talking about my favorite game, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is an awesome free-to-play action RPG game for mobile and PC with over 89 million downloads.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop.
To for every merge. The link in the players will be given. You'll have 1,000.
Hate to do this?
Oh shit. Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. Guys. Raid Shadow Legends run 7 days between down. Shut the fuck up! I am talking right now. You will listen to me. New players who use the link in the description and also the Shadow Legends run 7 days between down. Shut the fuck up! I am talking right now. You will listen to me. New players who use the link in the description and also the
Advertising.
I want to say thank you.
Okay. Come on.
Before we begin, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support on Don't Feed the Muse 2. This
You're
video
welcome.
isn't related to the ARG, but the final episode is coming out in 2023, and I'll
I
still
bet.
be making some fun videos like this on the side. And without further ado, let's begin the theory.
Finally. This nigga's editing makes me so horny,
The
bro.
Magic
It's so
School
good.
Bus is an animated educational kids show that aired from 1994 to 1997 and later got rebooted on Netflix in 2017.
What
it aired
the
from
fuck?
1994 to 1997 and later got rebooted
What is that thing? No. She looked too modern, bro. I want old Miss Frizzle Cooch, bro. I don't want this. Oh my god.
Netflix in 2017. It follows Miss Frizzle and her class of 4th grade students as they use the Magic School Bus to go on crazy field trips to places like outer space, inside the human body, and traveling back in time, all to learn about how the world works. Like a lot of you, I watched it in school growing up, but
Okay, so
it
that's-
wasn't until recently
that's when I
that
mainly
started to
watched it.
question some things about the show. Like, do the parents know that their kids are regularly going on these dangerous, life-threatening expeditions?
cares?
And how is Arnold still alive after taking off his helmet in space?
It's just a cartoon. It's not that deep. It's just a cartoon. Miss Frizzle just traffics people. That's all that is.
Thanks, Janet.
Oh.
A body has been discovered.
Thank you, hunting is life, you country fuck. I appreciate the sub.
Shoo! Thanks, Janet.
Oh,
Janet.
he just got a cold after being exposed to the freezing vacuum of space.
Valid.
That's it. Something seems wrong here. But wait, before we even begin to question the logic of the show, we have to ask if there's even anything here worth theorizing about. I get this comment all the time. It's just a kid's show. And you're right.
Exactly.
When it comes to most kid shows, there's usually no internal logic to how or why things happen.
Damn, he just called out fucking Peppa Pig, Mickey Mouse.
Would be pointless to try and
What
make
is
a
this
theory
mid?
about. Except
Paw
here's
Patrol.
the thing that sets the Magic School Bus apart from most kid shows. The show itself is constantly pointing out and questioning its own logic. It does this at the end of every episode during something called the producer segment. At the end of every episode, a character known as the producer for the Magic School Bus TV show shows up and answers questions from the fans.
Okay. So what type of fourth wall break is this?
Hello.
Hi, you work on the Magic School Bus show, right?
You bet, I'm the producer.
That's right. Just
It's
like
produced by a
SpongeBob, the Magic
Negro!
School Bus breaks the fourth wall and acknowledges the fact that it's a TV show. Except the Magic School Bus does it in a very interesting way. At first,
Okay.
I thought this character was supposed to be an animated stand-in for the actual real-life producer of the show, but the producer doesn't talk about the show like it's animated. He talks about it like it's
Like
a
he's in it?
live-action production.
Okay.
How come there was only one kind of bat on your show? There are almost 1,000 different kinds, you know.
Well, those kind of bats were banned from the set.
In fact, everyone talks about it like it's a live-action TV show.
Is this the bakery where they filmed that Magic School Bus show?
Yes.
What we are seeing here is not the actual producer of the PBS animated Magic School Bus show. We are seeing a fictional producer character for an in-universe live-action TV show inside of the real-life animated Magic School Bus show.
All
It's
right.
confusing, I know. Think of it like a
Not
mockumentary
really.
where the filmmakers are just as much a part of the story as the characters. So, just like my SpongeBob television theory, everything we see in the show is being filmed by in-universe cameras, and everything that happens is just scripted for the purposes of creating an educational live-action TV show.
Since when can a bus shrink and sprout legs like a bullfrog?
Since the scriptwriter wrote it in for the purposes of this episode.
So wait, you're telling me, so since this is all like it's in their universe, and you just saw that bus grow legs, that means they had CGI, the best looking CGI we've ever fucking seen. You see how realistic these legs are? They outclass Avatar. Round of applause to the Magic School Bus, bro. Round of applause. This is the best CGI I've ever seen. Oh my god.
Bullfrog?
Since the scriptwriter wrote it in for the purposes of this episode.
You didn't believe the part where the kids got so close to the volcano.
It's television. We all know real kids don't go inside volcanoes.
And another thing, if an astronaut ever does make it to Pluto, she'd better not take her helmet off.
You think they'd end up with more than a cold, huh?
She'd end up a block of ice,
Duh.
or worse.
None of the characters actually go to
That's common
space or
sense.
travel through time. There's no real danger or magic involved. In the canon of the show, everything we see is fake. And this isn't even a Truman Show situation where the main characters are unaware they're being filmed. The kids actually sometimes show up or call in on the producer segment and talk as if they know about the show.
So they're child actors.
That nighttime lasted about 5 seconds.
Oh, well, we were a little short on time.
So, that pretty much answers every possible question I could have about this show, right? Like, anything weird or dark I find could just be explained away by it being scripted by the showrunners. And I almost gave up on making this theory because of that. Until I realized that's exactly what the Magic School Bus wants us to think.
Okay, buddy. All right, buddy. All right.
Seatbelts, everyone!
In Season 2, Episode 3, The Busasaurus, the class travels back in time on the Magic School Bus to visit the dinosaurs. During the episode, they keep track of which dinosaurs only ate plants with this chart. But when they go back to the present, we don't see the class take the chart with them. Just like the end of every episode, they have a producer segment, this time with a guest star from the show, and they clarify none of the magic they showed was real.
So no one's ever traveled back in time and seen real dinosaurs?
Absolutely not. Time travel is impossible.
But it's what happens at the very end of this segment that changes everything.
Time travel is possible?
Of course it's not.
How could they find the dinosaur chart buried underground if the time travel wasn't real? This directly contradicts—
Wait, what? Wait. My brain did not process what the hell I just saw. I'm not gonna lie to you. My brain, am I the only one who lost? Cause my brain did not just process what I just, not gonna lie, you slow. Not gonna lie, you need to hold this band, bitch ass nigga.
Buried underground if the time travel wasn't real. This directly contradicts what the producers are constantly saying about the show. And this happens all the time in the producer segments.
Which reminds me why I called in the first place.
Yes?
I'm still waiting for someone to get that pile of litter off my planet. Everybody knows there's no such thing as ghosts. You could never use ghosts for bungee jumping, not in
I'm
a
understanding
million years.
it. I'm understanding it now.
The facts.
It took water more than 15 million years to carve out the Grand Canyon. About as long as it's going to take you to freeze that water.
The impossible things that happen on these field trips are clearly real in the canon of the show, but why are
this nigga got Cheeto
things that
Puffs
happen on these field trips are clearly real in the canon of
how the hell how big does his mouth have to be able to just, I can't do that with one. Hold on, this nigga got a
of the show, but why are they lying about it? In fact, they seem to get kind of nervous whenever the callers get pushy about what's real and what's not.
It would have taken weeks for the asteroid to reach the sun. You made it seem like it could happen in seconds.
Well, we had to fake it.
Must be magic.
Why do you say that?
What was that?
That? Oh, that was just the sound of Liz stretching the truth.
So why not just tell them that it's a real magic school bus? What's with all the secrecy? The class is constantly going to places like outer space, the bottom of the sea, inside an active volcano, all extremely dangerous places that no school could ever take kids unless they lied about it and pretended like the field trips were just faked as a part of an elaborate fictional TV show. And the cover-up goes much farther than just the show.
Yeah, because the kids don't tell their parents that, I'm actually going to these places. Like, the kids don't say none of that. So they gotta be manipulated on marijuana. They on some type of drug, LSD. They kidnapped. They don't have homes. My nigga, they go in cages as soon as every single episode is done and filmed. And now they're forced to put on a happy face because you wanna know why? You pull up the shirt of this green shirt guy's back and it's just fucking slash marks, slave marks. They whip them. They whip them and make them act like this. Trust me, I know, I was there.
The school has no idea what they're doing on these field trips.
You're telling me you went inside a chicken to find me an egg?
Yes, sir, we did.
But going inside a chicken is not a state-approved field trip.
Hey, you see, they're trying to give hints towards them like, hey, we are kidnapped. Hey, we need some help, but no one's listening.
When they tell him, he doesn't believe them.
Do you really expect me to believe that the chicken laid an egg with all of you inside it?
And even the parents don't know what's going on.
And now, live
I lied.
from the throne.
My theory was
that
ruined.
Little girl looks just like your friend Wanda.
Who